3, 2, 1. Yo! What it is, YouTube? It's your boy Mixin coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. I got the Young Thug YSL template here for y'all today. Let's not waste no time. Let's get on the grind and see what gems we can find. Let's go.
Woke up in the mansion, sit to your pinstripe couch. Called a call man, he told me meet him at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm not. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Billy under the carport, she got rained out. I done got. Woke up in the mansion, sit to your pinstripe couch. Called a call man, he told me meet him at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm not. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Billy under the carport, she got rained out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out.
Okay. So that's what we working with today. If you guys do like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more of this content. Drop more suggestions for artists that we want to break down the sound a little bit more, go in depth. And if you guys do like these gems that I'm already giving you, don't forget, we got the Patreon where we drop those super secret exclusive gems. If you like this content, go ahead and check out my Patreon as well, right there, exclusive private courses. So let's listen to what it sounds like with and without the vocal preset. And I got some dope ass ad-libs that I'm literally gonna like show you guys as well. So let's listen to what it sounds like with and without the Thug preset.
Woke up in the mansion, sit to your pinstripe couch. Called a call man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm not. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bentley of the car push, shit got rained out. I done got so rich, woke up in the mansion, sit to your pinstripe couch. Called a call man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm not. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bentley of the car push, shit got rained out. I done got so rich,
So we took that bedroom vocal from sounding like it was made in your grandma's closet to sounding really pro and mainstream and professional. You hear the tone match, especially when I put it under Thug's vocal. The tone is on point. So of course, let's look at this today. The very first thing I want to talk about is Thug's auto-tune. When I hear Young Thug's vocal, I think of specifically quirkiness. You know, it kind of has this jitter type of perk 10 type of vocal that he has to, like a little really jittering and a little wobbling and really just like, you know, just bubbling and everything like that. So a great way of, you know, kind of getting that kind of snack, crackle, and pop Rice Krispies auto-tune sound is using something like Flex Tune. Specifically with the Flex Tune, it's really good because it brings out some of those expressive parts, you know, kind of like that voice cracking, kind of underconfident. Look, I'm kind of scared. It kind of brings out that type of character in the vocal. So that's when I go to Flex Tune. Most of the time I don't use it. If I do use it, very, very light. So Young Thug, he has kind of like, I feel like a very, very on the borderline of where it could get robotic, but a low humanized as well also helps to getting that crackling, jittery, that kind of muscle spasm type of vocal that Young Thug has, okay? So after that, let's look at our studio rack preset that you guys, if you want it, you can get it down below in the pin link. So with Young Thug's voice, the very first thing I did was just kind of rolling off, not too much low end, somewhere around 100. I know his voice is like, it don't really have that much low end power to it. I still want his voice to be kind of like a tombstone, something that's really stuck into the ground. It's gonna be real hard for you to pull out. So I left a lot of the low end energy in Young Thug's voice. And then at that point, I was looking for kind of like where is that crackling at? And I did kind of like a presence boost right here and a shelf boost. So let's hear what it sounds like with and without.
woke up in the mansion, sit to your pinstripe couch. Called a call man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm not. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bentley of the car push, shit got rained out. Woke up in the mansion, sit to your pinstripe couch. Called a call man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got.
Now you start to feel a little bit of that Five Guys type of French fries crunchy texture that's coming from, you know, where I boosted at. Now you start to feel a little bit of that crackle, a little bit of that sandpaper type of texture. Just kind of, the artist already has that in his voice. So as an engineer, because I want to showcase that talent, like it's a talent show, like it's the local talent show. I'm looking right here. This is kind of like my spotlight. Like, where am I gonna flash it on the good character inside of his vocal? So that's what I'm trying to display. After that, we have a de-esser. Of course, we know we're just kind of doing a high shelf boost and cut type of situation. You know, kind of boosting everything around like that 6K, and then cutting around a little bit lower around the 5K. Just really getting my high end control. His voice doesn't have a lot of low end, so of course it's gonna be perceived as very, very bright. So let's look at how our de-esser is working.
Woke up in the mansion, sick Dior pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bentley of the car, push, shit got rained out. I done got so.
Okay, next thing that we have after that is we're using another C4. We're using it a little bit different today. I'm using the bass comp and the high frequency limiter. So at that point, I kind of already let a lot of the low end, a Young Thug's vocal kind of get through that first. I only cut off or only wrote off about 100 just to, I'm still preserving a lot of the power. I'm putting solar panels on top of the house, which is the vocal right now. I'm preserving a lot of power. Now I want to control that power and bring it, into the house so I can use it and concentrate it. So I'm using something like the bass comp / high frequency limiter. I'm using this right here to really clamp down on the low end of Young Thug's vocal. I don't want it to jump around too much because I know the high end is going to be jumping around a lot. So it's always a situation with human beings where it's not just only our ears, but our eyes as well. If you got one laser, right, and you're slowly kind of like pointing it all over the place in the house, people will be able to follow that laser a little bit. But when you got like at an arcade like Dave and Buster's and you got 100 lasers all over the fucking place, it starts to become invisible to you. It starts to not even feel like there's anything moving at all. It just becomes like a thing that's in the back of your mind. So that's why I'm also using something like the bass comp, because I'm controlling that low end. It's kind of like that one slow laser that you can pay attention to, like that foundation, that solidity. But then for the quirkiness, the words that start to overshoot a little bit, I'm gonna compress them a little bit just with the high frequency limiter. So let's look at that.
Woke up in the mansion, sick Dior pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bentley of the car, push, shit got rained out. I done got so rich, I think my cars. Woke up in the mansion, sick Dior pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my.
So pretty much kind of like that quirkiness of his voice is like a pencil. It's kind of, it got a sharp tip to it, right? But I'm kind of treating it like a mechanical pencil where I can pick about like kind of like how long or how short I'm making it. That's what I'm kind of doing. Like how far out do I want the high end, that crackling in his vocal to extend? So that's kind of what I'm doing right here with this multiband compressor. After that, I'm using something like the SSL comp. I know Alex Toomey, who is Young Thug's, engineer, very long time engineer, likes to use this compressor. So I picked it. And the reason, why I think it's a great compressor for Thug's vocal, because it has like this warming characteristic to it, but it actually kind of gives it a little bit of punch as well. And that's kind of coming from the fact that it's a VCA compressor, so the SSLG or E channel has a VCA compressor in it. And also the bus compressor as well is VCA. And that's another reason why back in the days, songs sound glued. Oftentimes maybe that board had the same topology of compression as the bus compressor as well. And that kind of what glued stuff together. It's still the same type of circuitry, One is like a V6 engine and another one is like another V6 engine. You feel me? They're kind of like the same engine, so they kind of run the same way a little bit. You feel me? So that's why I use the SSL comp and I use the ratio of 4. That hard knee compression, it adds a little bit of that abruptness, and that's what's going to be actually enhancing Young Thug's vocal performance. So I'm using compression in a bunch of different ways. The C4 is kind of band selected. I'm dusting this off. I'm wiping this table down. I'm brooming it here and there on certain parts of the vocal. But then I have something like the SSL comp, which is kind of like a homemade. It just comes in and it asserts a tone into the vocal. So let's look at that.
Woke up in the mansion, sick Dior pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bentley of the car, push, shit got rained out. I done got so rich, I think my car.
For me, what it's doing to Young Thug's vocal is it's adding solidity, it's adding a little bit of weight, it's adding a couple of big Texas honey buns on top of the vocal, which is giving a little bit of size. We don't want it to sound like it's my vocal's scared. I don't want my vocals to sound like that. It's rap music. I still want him to be doing all the crazy stuff that he's doing, but I'm keeping in mind the 808 is hitting hard. The kick is hitting hard. I still want it to have a little size, okay? And after that, the SSL comp, you know, that's like kind of how I said. I'm using a little compression on the SSL comp. I'm rolling off a little bit of bottom. I'm resculpting that mid-range. And of course, I'm doing a little bit of low shelf as well to give a little bit more of that size as well with Young Thug's vocal. You know, when somebody's rapping all crazy and stuff like that, you want that to cut through the mix. So there's two ways of making something cut through. You can make it cut through the high end, or you can make it cut through everything else as well. You know, high end is a specific type of, you know, sound. It's a type of articulation. But with that low end, it's more like a sturdiness. It's kind of more like an anvil, kind of like a weight that kind of just sits there, versus where the high end is something that kind of flutters around like Tinkerbell or some shit like that. So let's look at that.
Woke up in the mansion, sick the old pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Ha, nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bentley of the car, push, shit got rained out. I done got up in the mansion. Sick the old pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, he told me meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Ha, nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bentley of the car.
And as you guys can hear, I kind of got my gate going, and like all of the words, the transitions in between the words is kind of like enhancing it. I done got so rich, I let my car bring me out. Bring me out of spot. Car bring me, you feel me? So I'm trying to enhance those breaths. Some people like to take it away, but as far as I'm concerned, I damn well know in this world, I need some oxygen. I need some space. You feel me? I need some oxygen to breathe and live. So I kind of want that to come into the song. It's kind of like I'm breathing life when I do something like the gate. I'm enhancing the breaths rather than trying to take it away. Maybe in pop music, that would be the case, but this is rap music. We want all that stuff. You feel me? That's the vibe. You feel me? That's the feeling. That's what makes you feel like you in the studio with Thug. Like it makes you start to feel like you got a car that you pulling out. You feel me? It makes you feel like that you not whipping a Toyota, that you whipping the Benz. You feel me? All that little shit starts to add up, those nuances. All right, cool. After that, we have the Abbey Road Saturator, and I was using that to give a little bit of a honeycomb buzz, a little bit of bee buzz to Young Thug's vocal. Let's look at that real quick.
Woke up in the mansion, stick the old pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Ha, nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bentley of the car, push, shit got rained out. Woke up in the mansion, sick the old pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Ha, nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that?
So essentially what this plugin kind of do is kind of acting like a defibrillator, you know, like when you go to the hospital shaking it, it's kind of putting some energy into the vocal a little bit. And I really love how this distortion light preset sounds. I just found the preset and I just blended it in, and it just gives a little bit of crunch, which is another way I'm enhancing the strengths of a Young Thug vocal. I want that crackling type of, you know, type of sound, crackle barrel type of sound, right? That crackling, God, maybe out, that auto-tune sound, right? So there's different ways I can approach it. I've showed you. I approached it with EQ by boosting that little transient that I found. Then I approached it, you know, in a way where I had different layers of compression. I approached it in another way, which is gating. You feel me? How I gated it to make it pump a little bit, the nuances. And now I'm approaching it a whole different way, which is actually using saturation. So that's the thing about it. You know, I hate how people on YouTube, they try to make it seem like there's only one way to do one thing. There's only one way to, you know, blink, you close your eyes and you open it again. Like, nah, fuck no. This is not a situation like that. I'm using the saturation to, you know, enhance some of that character, some of that croak, some of that God bring me out. Sounds like he's got a frog in his throat. You feel me?
Up in the mansion, sick the old pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bentley of the car, push, shit got rained out. I done got so rich.
So, you know, it starts to really sound good. It really starting to sound like it's crunching up with the ad-libs too. The ad-libs we snapped. But fresh air, of course, we know what that's doing. It's just making it bright and mainstream.
Woke up in the mansion, sick to your pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bring me out of the car.
Okay, then another de-esser after that. So yeah, nothing crazy with the H delay. What? Just a half a note to give a little bit of reinforcement of Thug's vocal and wrote off a little bit low end. Nothing to see here. Then we do have something a little bit interesting. I kind of had like a little Tory Lanez type of hairy, type of Sasquatch reverb kind of going on. Just using the Abbey saturator, on the highest gain possible. Starting to get a bit of distortion going into my reverb to give a little bit of that grittiness, a little bit of that nasty and slap myself. And I feel like that's what that reverb is starting to do. Like this reverb is starting to really support all the hard work that we've been doing. You feel me? This reverb is starting to become like a gold medal for all the work that we've been putting in so far with the lead vocal. It's kind of rewarding, all of that consonance and all that transience and stuff like that. You feel me? So let's look.
Woke up in the mansion, sick to your pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bring me out of the car, pull shit got rained out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out.
And you kind of hear, like, without the Abbey Road saturator, it kind of sounds like the vocal is bald-headed. You feel me? It kind of sounds like it just got a motherfucking haircut. But with the Abbey Road saturator, it kind of gives a little bit of frill, a little bit of top, a little bit of a wildness. And that's what you want with a Young Thug vocal. He's very sporadic. You want it to be a little wild. So another way of getting a wild reverb sound is maybe you might want to use something like a H-verb or any type of convolution reverb. So this is different from a regular reverb because this is modeling like a real dead-ass church house. So they went into somebody's church house on Sunday with their grandma yelling, and they put out a microphone. They start measuring like how sound bounces off the walls and stuff, and they put it into a plugin. So yeah. Then after that, to get a little bit of that quirkiness, I used the doubler, and then I put a waves tune on the back end of the doubler to give me even more sound of auto tune, pretty much. So yeah, this is a trick I like to do to get even more auto tune, but without it being obvious. You feel me? So let's look.
Up in the mansion, sick to your pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bring me out of the car, pull shit got rained out. Woke up in the mansion, sick to your pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars.
Yep, so that's what we kind of got right there. A trick I love to do so much. I think I'm the person who brought that shit onto YouTube. I think I'm the first person who did it. I'm pretty sure putting a doubler on the auto-tune and blending it in parallel so you can get the sound of auto-tune without hearing it. Just one of the many gems I be bringing to y'all. You feel me? I don't talk my shit, but I'm just saying I had to start doing YouTube because I felt like once I watched one of them, I watched all of them. So I was like, man, these motherfuckers ain't no real engineer, bruh. A real engineer is always pushing the envelope, always trying to help you with your sound, always trying to say, yeah, we got to go in there and switch it up. Oh, let me try this new trick. Let me try this new trick. That's what a real engineer does. A scary engineer who don't really be mixing, what they do is they play it safe. EQ is about rolling off mud. Oh, tame those peaks. Oh, don't take risks. Don't take those chances. Don't just make it sound like how the client wants. Just be a bitch. You feel me? So no, I'm not about that. I'm all about taking risks, taking chances, doing something different, showing you a different path, same plugin, but use it in a different way, nigga. So okay, SSLG comp, now that I'm hyped up. SSLG comp, we're bringing it in, we crushing the vocal a little bit, and we're using the ratio of 10, which now, starts to get to a situation where it's almost becoming a limiter. A ratio of 20 or more would make it a limiter, but the knee just becomes ridiculously hard. And that hard knee, it gives a hard transition for the parallel compression. It starts to really, 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 really put some lemon, pepper, garlic on top of the vocal.
Woke up in the mansion, sick to your pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Give me a car, pull shit got rained out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Woke up in the mansion, sick to your pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, he told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Baby, in the car, push, shit got rained out.
And of course, the SSL compressor has transformer on the output, which by default is going to give us a little bit of weight. So a little gem that I like to do when I'm on Studio Rack, especially, I like to take like the output knob and start to push it and balance it between like this knob and that knob, because this is my dirty gain. This is my dirty volume, my transformer saturation type of like flavored volume, and this is kind of like your clean transparent volume. So sometimes I might boost this shit up like 15 dB and then just be balancing like, and I'm not listening to volume, I'm listening to the tone. Like how much seasoning do I want, essentially? You feel me? It's like I got the bottle and I'm spraying it just a little bit, and I might feel like I might not want that much seasoning today. So that's kind of how I interpret going between dirty gain and clean gain. But that's the way that you create texture and tone inside the music, and you just be like, and people be like, how the fuck it get to sounding like that? Because it's more than just the basic rolling out the mud, taming the peaks. Well, you gotta do it like this because the book says it's to do it like that type of shit. No, I don't accept that. So after that, SSL EQ, just kind of reshaping the mid range on Young Thug's voice, and no gating this time. I'm actually letting a little bit of noise kind of come through. It makes it feel a little bit fluffy, a little fluff on the ad-libs. Man, I just love how these ad-libs sound. Like these ad-libs were just on point.
Woke up in the mansion, sick to your pinch that couch. Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Bring me out the car, push, shit got rained out. I done got.
So I'm trying to figure out how to
rain that. Cars bring me out.
Like I'm trying to figure out how to enhance that, so I'm attacking that shit first quarter. That's what you got to do as an engineer. See the target, attack it. Very simple, very simple. Like you got to listen to the whole signal, the whole length of the signal. I hear cars being You feel me? The way I drag that little You feel me? If a rapper comes in there, you gotta be like, ooh, that's the hit part. I gotta enhance that. So here's how I enhanced it. I use the SSL, G comp, fast attack, fast release, and use the analog as well, kind of lo-fiing up the ad-libs a little bit. It kind of just adds a little bit of dirt, a little bit of soil, a bit of manure on top of the vocal. But the main thing for me was the way I started using auto-tune on my delay. You feel me? I use the auto-tune on the delay, so that's like a real robotic type of signal going into the the delay, and that kind of creates a new texture for the delay. What if you want a little bit of a delay that's a little bit of so I kind of have it sound like a robot going into the delay, and that's what's creating that nice little tail to it. You feel me? So let's look at that real fast.
Caught a call, man, told him meet me at the spot. Dropping out some shit you ain't got. Nah, I'm out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Been me at the car, push, shit got rained out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Been me at the car, push, shit got rained out. I done got so rich, I think my cars bring me out. Anybody know that? My cars bring me out. Been me at the car, push, shit got rained out. I done got so rich,
little shit like that is what you got to do in mixing. You hear how the delay, like it kind of starts to have that little bit of like that rubbery type of feeling to it. You know what I mean? Now it's like you want to hear the next ad-lib because cars made me versus when it was just like the regular, like without the auto-tune on it, it sounded too smooth, not appropriate for that type of ad-lib. So that's kind of how I see it. Then I put another waves tune, but this time on the back end of the reverb, and it's really just making everything like glued together, because essentially what I'm doing is my reverb is tuned to the scale of the music, my auto-tune, my reverb and my delay is tuned to the scale of the music. So when you get this template, if you guys get it, you want to adjust that part, but it just makes it dope. It just makes everything sound glued, because literally the auto-tune is frequency dependent. So now, like, of course, a reverb is full frequency, so it's kind of ducking down some of the frequencies that are not in the scale of the music, because a note has a certain frequency to it. You feel me? So that's a whole nother talk for a whole nother day. But this is the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed this you type of vocal template, you guys can grab it in the pin link down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop more suggestions for artists y'all want to see. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. You've seen the gems. If you want more, you know where to go. And I just want to say thank you very much for being a good part of my YouTube family. Appreciate you guys now. Peace.